The intent of the family of international codes is to establish reasonable levels of safety, health, property protection, and public welfare. Join us today as we discuss indoor air quality that is addressed in the energy and sustainability codes and how they are safety, health, and welfare codes. Air is an excellent transfer mechanism for all sorts of things, including water vapor, pollutants such as smog, car exhaust, pollen, and smoke from either nearby structure fires or wildfires, as we are experiencing these more often and more severely now. The Energy Code helps to mitigate these with the requirements for air barriers and air sealing, and more specifically, the materials that are utilized and the locations for where they are installed. The intent is to control how and where the air moves from outside the structure to inside the structure and within the structure itself. Have you ever removed old fat insulation and noticed the massive discoloration to it? Now, the discoloration you see isn't from mold or mildew. It's due to the contaminants that have been infiltrated through the structure that wasn't properly installed with an air barrier system. The insulation trapped some of those pollutants. It basically became a giant filter for the building. The Energy Code requires that ducts, air handlers, and filter boxes are sealed. The residential provision even requires that these ducts be tested for the amount of leakage that can happen from a duct system. If you have air leaking into the structure through unintended openings, you no longer control the movement of the air. Now, this can affect the conditioning of the structure and the air quality of the structure. And if the leaks in a vented crawl space, it becomes exposed to various contaminants, the infiltration into the structure itself for the occupants to breathe. Now, the Energy Code requires that if outside combustion air is brought in for your fire-fueled mechanical equipment, then what you must do is either locate that room outside of the thermal envelope, or you have to thermally isolate the room. Especially in residential structures, when the required outside air was brought into the ductwork, it often made those floors really cold. And so the occupants would go and investigate and realize that it was the ductwork that was bringing in that cold air, and that's what was causing the floors to be cold. So what they would do is they would go and they would place towels in that ductwork, or they would put plastic and tape over it to try to block that cold air from entering through these openings. Now, this obviously becomes a problem, and either one of these types of situations really constrict that air from being able to entering the structure, but also by constricting that cold air from entering the structure, you constrict the amount of combustion air that is going to get to that mechanical equipment, and it needs that combustion air for that mechanical equipment to really be able to perform safely. The lack of combustion air can cause carbon monoxide issues, soot, and issues with a continuous flame. Join us tomorrow for the next edition in the Sustainability Membership Council's Building Safety Month video series, Playing to Win with Safety, Sustainability, and Energy Efficiency.